The Quick Reaction Surface-to-Air Missile System has achieved a major milestone by a direct hit onto a Banshee pilotless target aircraft at medium range and medium altitude. This missile launch took place from interim test range of Chandipur in Odisha on 13th of November 2020 at 15:50 hours, and it is propelled by a single-stage solid propellant rocket motor and uses all indigenous subsystems. This missile is canistered for transportation and launch using a mobile launcher capable of carrying 6 canistered missiles. All QRSAM weapon system elements like battery function radar, battery surveillance radar, battery command post vehicle and mobile launcher were deployed in the flight test. The system is capable of detecting and tracking targets on the move and engaging target with short hauls. The system is designed to give air defense coverage against strike columns of Indian Army. This tracked the Banshee target from farthest range, and missile was launched when target was within kill zone and achieved the direct hit with terminal active homing by radio frequency seeker guidance. Various DRDO labs like DRDL, RCI, LRDE, R&D, IRDE, ITR have participated in the test. Hello everyone and welcome back for another interesting session and most informative and important session of the defense updates provided by SSB Crack Exams. I am Heyman and I welcome you for another most important session of this particular week. So beginning with introduction of our important ones, that SSB Crack Exams is India's largest, most preferred online defense exams preparation portal. If in case you are preparing for these defense examinations like NDA, CDS, AFCAT, INET, Territorial Army, Indian Air Force, Airman Group X, Group Y and Central Armed Police Forces Assistant Commandant's examination and various other SSB interviews, I highly recommend you to download our Android app from Google Play Store, which will be very helpful for your examination preparation. You can even follow us on all sort of social media platforms, which will be very helpful for you within getting updated for the upcoming examination related questions. Now beginning with the question of the day that I have asked on 13th of November 2020 on last Friday, and the question that I asked was this particular one: about 27 years ago on this date, the Indian military contingent formally took charge of the responsibility of the capital city of which country? I repeat the question. About 27 years ago on this particular date, on which date? On the 13th of November, because this question was asked on 13th of November. So about 27 years ago on 13th of November, it might be around 1987 like that. So at that particular time, the Indian military contingent had formally took charge of the responsibility of the capital city of which country, and most of you have given a correct answer for that particular one, and the correct answer for that is Somalia. Okay, so it is the country of Somalia, and which is that particular capital city? The capital of Somalia is Mogadishu. Okay, so this is a very important one. This comes under the Indian contingent being working upon with the United Nations mission, peacekeeping missions in the Somalia. So what happened was at that particular time in January of 1991, the president of Said Barre of that particular Somalia, he had downfall, and then they had resulted a power and clash crisis, a clan crisis at that particular time. And by November of 1991, that means from January all the way up to the November, what happened is this all clashes, they have deteriorated very badly, and the situation in the Somalia that went very wrong, and it had deteriorated to an extent where death and destruction forced hundreds of thousands of civilians to flee their homes and causing the need for emergency humanitarian assistance. So at that particular time, a lot of countries came into the rescue, especially the United Nations came into rescue. And if we go through the details about the death tolls, nearly around 3 lakh people approximately have been caused dead in these conflicts. And on 22nd of April 1992, in response to a recommendation by Secretary General, the Security Council of the United Nations had adopted resolution number 751, by which it established the United Nations operation in Somalia. Okay, so this was the second sort of operation that was launched at that particular time. And if you go through the details regarding this particular one, I have to tell you that the first batch of the troops have landed in the capital city of Mogadishu. Of our Indian troops, they have landed on 28th of August 1993, and the induction was completed by 22nd of August 1993. Indian contingent formally took charge of this area of responsibility on 13th of November. Previously, a lot of countries, they have taken their part, they given their best, but they were not able to provide a complete solidarity and assistance towards the Somalia. But the moment Indian troops had landed, they took up very important and very good measures so that Somalia will wake up from its crisis. What happened was Western countries were they used force to achieve secure environment, but it completely failed. It did not give any effect on the Somalias. But Indian contingent, it used humanitarian approach. They took various projects like vocational training, vet training, food for work, adopting an orphanage, organizing cultural functions, shorts and events with local teams. All of these were done, and slowly, gradually, the whole of Somalia got influenced by this. And as of now, the Somalia is a very good country, progressing with our own India also, and we have very good relationship with Somalia. Both India and Somalia share a lot of important defense and information technology related bilateral cooperation. This influenced unemployed population also, and they channeled their energies from banditry to useful work. So this is very important update that you have to remember for the upcoming examinations. Now going through, once we finish up with the question of the day, we'll begin with the defense updates. And the first and foremost update for us, as I was discussing with you in the introduction, is about the QRSAM missile system achieving major milestone. So what is this particular one? It is a quick reaction surface to air missile launch. So it took place from the interim testing of Chandipur in Odisha, and it was done on 13th of November on Friday at afternoon 3:50 off the Odisha coast, and this is propelled by a single stage rocket propellant motor. It uses all indigenous subsystems. What did it do? It has achieved, it had a direct hit onto a Banshee pilotless target aircraft. What is that? It is a Banshee pilotless target aircraft. It hit this particular aircraft that was flying once it came into the kill zone, and this is considered to be a very good progress and development that is done by our Indian armed forces, all by the DRDO. And if you go through in detail, like the battery multifunction radar, battery surveillance radar, battery command post vehicle, mobile launcher, all of these were deployed in the flight test. And the best thing is, all of these are developed by the Indians itself. Okay, so this clearly indicates about how we are progressing in our country, and it clearly indicates how good is Atmanirbhar Bharat going on forward. We expect to see a lot of important defense exports to be done between our country and the global nations in the future time. Going through with the next update is regarding the Chief of Naval Staff's visit towards the Campbell Bay. He has visited INS Baz, which is a naval air station which is located in Campbell Bay. Where is Campbell Bay located? It is located in the Great Nicobar Island in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. It is working under the joint command of the Andaman and Nicobar Command. So it is being worked all the way by the Army, Navy and Air Force officials, but only the INS Baz is something that is very crucial for the Indian naval forces. This gives the Indian naval air arm and its air presence all the way, and it increases the Indian naval presence in the Indian Ocean region and maintaining the peace and security in all of those maritime borders. So, Chief of Naval Staff Admiral Karambir Singh, PVSM, AVSM, ADC has visited INS Baz, and he visited the INS Baz on 13th of November. And this visit was aimed to express solidarity with personnel on the Diwali. He has celebrated the Diwali. He has given his wishes, and he also, along with that, he also reviewed the operational preparedness, and he also reviewed the infrastructure aspects of the command, including readiness in the prevalent security scenario. He was also received by Lieutenant General Manoj Pandey, the Commander-in-Chief of the Andaman and Nicobar Command. If we go through in detail that particular one, during his interaction with the personnel, the CNS acknowledged their contribution in keeping the strategically important base operational at all times. Personnel from Indian Army, Indian Air Force, Coast Guard, DSC and GREF as well as defense civilians were present during the occasion. The geostrategically located air station INS Baz overlooks critical international sea lines passing through the Indian Ocean region. The airbase supports operations of a multitude of military aircraft which enable surveillance over the southern Bay of Bengal, South Andaman Sea, Malacca Straits and the southern Indian Ocean. INS Baz provides aid to civil authorities, including casualty evacuation, humanitarian assistance and disaster relief, and search and rescue, and also serves as a supporting base for operational turnaround facilities of ships deployed in the Nicobar group of islands. Going through with the next update is regarding Russia deploying the attack helicopters to the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict zone. So this is regarding the Armenia-Azerbaijan war that was conducted from 27th of September 2020 to 10th of November 2020. So there is an important zone known as the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict zone. If you go through the border of the Azerbaijan and Armenia, it is a very confusing border, but it is very, very strategic for us to understand and remember, because those who are preparing for the upcoming interviews like SSB interview, or who are preparing for the upcoming Series 1 2021, there might be chances that you might get a question from the Azerbaijan and Armenia related conflict, because this is a global issue that we have to consider. So the location of the war is the line of contact, Nagorno-Karabakh, Armenian controlled territories in Azerbaijan, and this war was taken place between both Armenia and Azerbaijan, and the victory was for the Azerbaijan. So they declared that victory because they had the territorial changes. Azerbaijan had got the control of around 5 cities, 4 towns, 240 villages and the entire Azerbaijan-Iran border. If you go through the details previously, that Azerbaijan and Armenia, both of them have different political map, and if we go through that particular map, here are the territorial changes that I would like to tell you, that both Azerbaijan and Armenia. So this is a sample video that we have to remember. So if you go through this particular one, you can see how the map is changing from this particular. This is our 27th of September. So as you go through, the map will go in a constant way, if you can see that. Okay, so you can see all the blue areas that are there, that are located here. So all of these red areas, they will be filled up by the blue, that indicates those areas that are being taken over by the Azerbaijan. The Nagorno-Karabakh conflict is an ethnic and territorial conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan over the disputed region of Nagorno-Karabakh, inhabited mostly by ethnic Armenians, and 7 surrounding districts inhabited mostly by Azerbaijanis under their expulsion during the first Nagorno-Karabakh war. So a ceasefire was signed in 1994, provided for 2 decades of relative stability, which significantly deteriorated along with Azerbaijan's increasing frustration with the status quo, at odds with Armenia's efforts to cement it. So a 4-day escalation in April 2016 became the deadliest ceasefire violation until the 2020 conflict. And as of now, you can see, following the capture of Susha, the second largest settlement, that you can see, they have been successful in winning up this particular war. And this was a very peace agreement. It was signed between the president of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, and the prime minister of Armenia, Nikol Pashinyan, and the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, ending all hostilities in the area. So thousands of people, thousands of both Armenian and Azerbaijani soldiers, they were declared dead during this particular war, and they were awarded the medals. So you can see all of these blue areas were those areas that are won by the Azerbaijani soldiers. So previously what happened before the 2020 conflict, these were those areas that were Armenian controlled, and these were being declared those important territories. They were claimed by the Azerbaijan, but they were controlled by the Armenia. They included all of these red areas. So they include Kalbajar, Lachin, Kubadi, Zangilan, Zabrail, Fuzuli and Agdam. So after all of this 2020 conflict, what happened was, these areas happened. The red area that you can see, this is the country of Armenia, and all of these green areas that you can see, this is the areas of the Azerbaijan. So this area that you are seeing, all of this was the previous area of the Nagorno-Karabakh territory. So this was previously a completely autonomously ruled territory, autonomously controlled territory, but it was internationally declared as a territory of the Azerbaijan. But later what happened was, after this particular war, when Armenia had a friendship with Russia, it also asked for help with Russia, but it didn't get the proper amount of help. So what happened was, it lost this particular war, and all of this territory, the sky blue areas that you are seeing, all of these sky blue areas, so all of these areas are those areas that are won by the Azerbaijan, and they are now a completely integral part of the Azerbaijan Republic. And if you go through these areas, so these are controlled by the Artsakh to be given to Azerbaijan by 1st of December 2020. Okay, so all of these blue areas will be given officially to Azerbaijan by 1st of December 2020. So this light brown area that you are seeing here, all of this area is still under the control of Armenia. So what Azerbaijan and Armenia, according to their deal that they have signed very recently, they are constructing a border, a small corridor. So this corridor will be linking both Armenia's Artsakh territory with Armenia, okay, with original country of Armenia, the mainland of the Armenia, and this is how the deal has been going through. So what happened after the post-war is, a ceasefire agreement was signed on 10th of November 2020. and Azerbaijan retained its control over the territories that it recaptured during the war, and the Russian peacekeeping forces will be deployed in this region. Okay, so all of this region, in all of the region that you can see here the Russian peacekeeping forces will be deployed back. And what happens is Armenia is granted access to Nagorno-Karabakh through Lachin Corridor. That corridor is known as what? It is known as the Lachin Corridor. And after this particular one, 2020 Armenian protests have been started. On one side, in the Armenian country's assembly, what is happening is the president, the prime minister, all of them, their offices have been completely destroyed and damaged, and Armenia is completely very much angry, and the people of the Armenia, the citizens of Armenia are very, very unhappy with this ruling government, and very especially with the Russia's support that has been not given properly towards the Armenia. Whereas on the other side, in the Azerbaijan streets are filled with people walking, carrying the Azerbaijani national flag and singing its national anthem and declaring about how Azerbaijan is considered to be a very famous country, and they are very happy about Azerbaijan gaining back its territories. So that is it regarding this particular most important one regarding the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict zone. So Russia has deployed its attack helicopters there. Going through with the next update is about that the United States Special Forces have participated recently in a Swedish-led exercise. So Sweden is very much near to the Russia and the Russian maritime border, but United States is building its presence mostly in the Sweden. So this is considered to be an important one. So the Swedish JS-39 fighter jets and the United States CV-22B, F-15, MC-130, all of these aircraft, they have flew over the Gotland during a joint exercise across the Baltic Sea. And the Special Operations Command Europe has announced this particular exercise, and this involved United States units planning for a long time, and is conducted in November, and is a part of the Swedish-US bilateral cooperation. So most of the people are happy that both Swedish and United States forces have been planning for a long time, and the strong ties to the United States are vital for the Swedish and Europe security, particularly concerning their military capability and technical supply, as said by the words from head of the air wing of the United States and the Sweden. Going through with the next important update is about that the United States Air Force implementing dog-like robots into its defense regiments. So this is regarding the United States Air Force installing these dog-like robots in its Tyndall Air Force Base, and these are looking like they are very similar like dog kind of creatures, but they resemble a dog. They are not intended to replace the military working dogs. What they will do is they will aid in the patrolling operations, and in doing so, it will defend, and it will also focus on the efforts on security actions that require a physical presence. So wherever a human presence is completely necessarily required in all of those strategic areas, these dog-like robots might be deployed, are deployed as said by the Tyndall Air Force Base officials and by the United States Air Force people. That is it regarding the most important updates for today. Now we will have a very quick review by going through some of the most important questions. And the first and foremost question is, ceasefire agreement of Armenia and Azerbaijan was signed on what date? It was signed on 10th of November 2020. Remember the date? It is on 10th of November 2020, around 6 days back. Going through with the next question is, the naval air station located at Campbell Bay, Great Nicobar Island is, okay, it is what? It is INS Baz. Mention in the comment section where is INS Garuda, INS Rajali and INS Utkrosh is located, okay, because all of the other three are also the Indian naval air stations and they have their special responsibilities mentioned about them. Going through with the next question is, QRSAM means, the full form of QRSAM is what? It is option A, Quick Reaction Surface to Air Missile. I repeat, it is the Quick Reaction Surface to Air Missile. Going through with the next question is, post Armenia-Azerbaijan war 2020, which country gained control of 5 cities, 4 towns, 240 villages and the entire Azerbaijan-Iran border? So the winner of all of these territorial claims is option C, Azerbaijan. Going through the next option is, the United States Air Force recently implemented which animal-like robots into defense regiments, especially in the Tyndall Air Force Base? So they were like the dog-like robots and they are installed in the Tyndall Air Force Base by the USAF. Now we will have the question of the day, and the question of the day for today is, in 2015, Seychelles and India signed an agreement for constructing and operating joint military facility on which island? I repeat the question. In 2015, Seychelles and India signed an agreement for constructing and operating joint military facility on which island? The answer for this and the explanation for it I will be giving you in the next session. Until then, stay tuned to SSB Crack Exams. Subscribe to our channel. Download our Android app from Google Play Store. Always stay safe, stay healthy, be confident, be happy. Jai Hind.